What's up, loves? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jacque-belle. If you're new here, today I'm gonna be sharing with you guys some of the techniques you can do to avoid under eye creasing after applying your concealer or your foundation. So if you're interested in knowing all about this tutorial, stay tuned, get your cold drink and a snack and watch this video to the end. Well, before we dive into that, you all know the routine. Go ahead and join the family by hitting the subscribe button down below and also smash the bell. That way you'll be notified each time new video goes up. Yeah, so I'm gonna move on to primer because my skin is already moisturized. So I'm gonna move on to primer and I'm using this Prime Correct from Melanie. Ladies, so I'm done priming my face. It looks good. So, like I mentioned, I'm just gonna be sharing with you guys some of my techniques that I use to avoid under eye creasing, especially after applying concealer or foundation. Okay, I'm not talking about those lines under your eyes because those lines are always gonna be there regardless, especially as you grow. I'm just talking about preventing creasing underneath your eyes after applying your products. So the first thing, as we all know, is to moisturize. Like if you look at your face, this area under your eyes is very thin. So it's the thinnest part of your face, like right here. It doesn't have too much skin. So you have to make sure you moisturize that part as well. So you can go in with like under eye cream. For me, I'm going in with this, my under eye cream. Like I've used it before when I did my skincare routine. It's just a vitamin C and collagen anti-aging under eye cream. So you can use whatever under eye cream you have handy. I just take like a little bit like that and just apply it underneath your eyes. Okay, you don't do too much. So I just use my middle finger and I just apply that under eye cream right there. And you can use another finger to take off any excess. But this is the first thing you need to do if you need to avoid under eye creasing. Like you need to give that area some moisture. So, so for foundation, I'm using um this foundation from that company that I told you guys about. Hold on, I'm gonna shake it. I'm using this foundation here. So I'm using the 16R Camo Concealer from ELF, and this is the Deep Cinnamon for highlight today. So what I normally do to 2 minutes, or let me just say 2 to 3 minutes. Then I'll blend it out. And I have to do that phase like so that I can make sure I get rid of all the creases before. You don't have to do the face, but it just helps me. So, so I'm gonna use another concealer, but a lighter shade, just underneath my eyes, so I can brighten that a little bit. So I'm using this L'Oreal Paris concealer. This is just gonna go underneath my eye. It's just for extra highlight. This is completely optional. So we're gonna let it sit again for a little bit, then we can bring it out. I'm actually gonna do this contour while that's getting dry. So next I'm gonna blend this extra concealer. Let's do blend that face here. So now I'm gonna set my face or this concealer with my translucent setting powder. Before you set your concealer with your setting powder, you need to make sure you get rid of all the creases. If not, you're just gonna be setting the creases underneath your eyes. Okay, again, I'm not talking about those lines, I'm talking about the crease. So basically, you want to use like the tip of your beauty sponge that you use to apply your concealer with it. Go in, like do that face. Like it, this face is gonna be boring, but I mean this helps. Like so, I basically just press upward so I can get rid of all the crease before I can set. If you don't do this technique, you're gonna be setting your under eye creases, and when you set that with your loose setting powder, it is hard to get rid of. In fact, you can't even get rid of it. So I'm just making sure. And I'm using another beauty sponge to set. So I don't always do too much. I just take some of it on the sponge and then just press it at the back of my hand. So I first of all start with all the areas where I got rid of the crease. I press. Then I can relax my face once I'm going down. So like I'm basically like pressing that upward. So that's it with my setting powder. So the next thing I'm gonna do is use like a pressed powder to like set my contour in place to go all over where I contour my face. Then I'm gonna use a pressed powder to go all over my face with it, except for underneath my eyes, because I'm basically just setting the foundation in place. So now for underneath my eyes, I'm gonna use this smaller brush and just get rid of any excess powder. So for bronze, I'm using my e.l.f. blush that I told you guys about to bronze a little bit. So I'm just taking this bronzer all over where I contour my face. Just add a little warmth into my skin. So before I move on to my blush, I'm gonna do this one more step or technique that I always do to avoid under eye creasing. So after I go in with my loose setting powder, I always go in with my loose finishing powder as well to get rid of any extra crease underneath the eyes. So I always do this and I do the same. So that's it for the technique. And I'm gonna move on to my blush. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit before I blend it. And I'm using a blush from my Glow Pro. Today I wanna go in with a pink blush. So I'll be doing. For highlight, I'm using my highlighting powder from Wet n Wild. I'm done with my highlights. I'm gonna set my face with my finger. So you all, this is the final look of this tutorial. So basically, there's not a lot of things you need to do to avoid under eye creasing, but you just need to pay attention to the most important ones like moisturize your under eyes. Make sure you get rid of all the creases underneath your eyes before you go in with your setting powder. If you don't do that, you're gonna be setting the creases. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video as much as I did, do not forget to leave me a big thumbs up. Also, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that already, and make sure you hit the bell. That way, you'll be notified each time new video goes up. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you guys